My husband accused me of cheating for the stepmother, but he didn't consider that I know his secrets. My name's Kate. I'm 28, and until about a month ago, I was blissfully ignorant. Or maybe just stupid. If you'd asked me then, I would have told you I had my husband Trevor, 32, all figured out. After 6 years of marriage, how could I not? Spoiler alert, I didn't know squat. The bomb didn't just drop, it exploded on a completely unremarkable Wednesday night. Trevor burst into the house like a human tornado, his face looking like someone just keyed his car. He wasn't just mad, oh no, this was a full-on performance. Keys flew onto the table, nearly taking out my favorite vase. And then he hit me with it. "So this is how you repay me?" he barked, his voice dripping with that dramatic woe is me energy. "With my stepmother?" I blinked. My brain needed a second to process the sheer ridiculousness of that sentence. "Your stepmother?" I repeated, just to make sure I'd heard right. Carol. He was talking about Carol. The woman who buys everything in hot pink and thinks lip fillers count as a personality trait. What exactly did he think was happening here? A secret tryst behind the clearance racks at Macy's? But Trevor wasn't done. He yanked out his phone like it was Exhibit A in some courtroom drama and shoved it under my nose. "Explain this," he hissed. On the screen was a photo of me and Carol standing outside the mall, taken 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I remembered it clearly. She'd asked me to help her pick out a birthday gift for Trevor. Yeah, real scandalous stuff. The FBI would be all over this one. "Really?" I said, pushing the phone back toward him. "That's your evidence?" "You don't understand how this looks," he shot back, pacing like a caged lion. I crossed my arms and leaned against the counter, watching him unravel. It was almost entertaining, if you ignored the part where he was accusing me of cheating with a woman who probably has a monthly Botox subscription. But as I stood there, something clicked. This wasn't about how it looked. No, this was a diversion, a smokescreen, and I knew exactly why. But instead of screaming or throwing plates both valid options, I decided to let him keep digging. "All right, Trevor," I said, my voice calm and steady, which I knew would piss him off even more. "Explain to me in detail how hanging out with your stepmother equals an affair." His face turned redder than a ketchup bottle at a diner. "You're twisting this." "No, you're twisting this," I shot back, my sarcasm on full blast, twisting it into some Lifetime movie plotline where I'm the villain. "Go on, keep going. This is fascinating." For the next hour, he flailed around with half-baked accusations and vague references to trust and loyalty. It was honestly embarrassing. And when he finally stormed out, slamming the door so hard the picture frames rattled, I just sat there. I stared at that stupid vase, the one his mom gave us for our wedding, and laughed. Because here's the kicker. Trevor thought he had me cornered. What he didn't realize was that I'd been holding on to a few secrets of my own, and let's just say his dirty laundry was about to be aired in high definition. But not yet. Oh no, I was going to savor this. The next morning, Trevor still hadn't come home. Shocker. When he gets into one of his man-child meltdowns, he pulls these disappearing acts like he's starring in some indie drama. But trust me, I wasn't sitting around, wringing my hands and waiting for his grand reappearance. Nope. I had work to do. See, Trevor wasn't exactly the poster boy for fidelity or honesty. While he was out playing the role of the wronged husband, I was pulling together my own little case file. Receipts? Oh, I had plenty. Literally. Bank statements that didn't make sense, late-night phone calls to numbers I didn't recognize, and then the pièce de résistance, a photo I'd saved from 3 months ago. Let me set the scene. Trevor, sitting at some dimly lit bar, grinning like he just won the lottery with his arm casually draped around a blonde woman I'd never seen before. They were laughing, leaning way too close over a pair of fancy cocktails. I'd stumbled on this gem while scrolling through Instagram, tagged by one of his coworkers. And no, it wasn't work-related, unless they've started hosting team-building margarita mixers. But I wasn't ready to drop the bomb yet. Timing is everything, and I wanted to make sure when Trevor's house of cards came tumbling down, it would take him with it. So instead of stewing in my righteous anger, I grabbed my keys and paid Carol a visit. Now, Carol's kitchen is a crime scene in itself. It's an explosion of pink and gold, like someone gave a Barbie dream house a credit card and no limits. Carol was perched on a high-backed chair, sipping her third glass of Chardonnay before noon, because of course she was. "Oh, sweetie, he's just being dramatic," she cooed when I told her what Trevor had accused me of. She swirled her wine like she was auditioning for The Real Housewives. "Carol, cut the crap," I snapped, leaning across her absurdly shiny marble countertop. "He thinks we're sleeping together. Why would he even think that?" Carol froze mid-sip, her fake lashes batting like tiny spider legs. For a second, I thought she might choke on her wine. "Oh, honey," she whispered, lowering her glass. "I think you need to see something." She reached for her phone, and my stomach did a little flip. If I thought things couldn't get messier, I was wrong. Carol unlocked her screen and handed it over, her lips pursed like she was delivering bad news. What I saw, let's just say, it was next level. There were texts, plural, from Trevor. Texts that were way too flirty, way too cozy for a stepson talking to his stepmother. One of them read, "You're the only woman who really gets me." I could feel my stomach churn as I scrolled. This wasn't just inappropriate, it was downright creepy. I pushed the phone back toward her and stumbled out of my chair. "I need air," I muttered, already heading for her front door. Outside, I paced on her floral doormat, trying to make sense of it all. Trevor wasn't just a liar, he was a full-blown gaslighting hypocrite with a weird Freudian complex. This wasn't about me anymore. It wasn't about proving my innocence. It was about burning Trevor's carefully crafted image to the ground and making sure everyone knew the truth. But I had to be smart. This wasn't the kind of thing you just blurt out in anger. No, this needed precision, planning. And when I was done, Trevor wouldn't just lose his argument, he'd lose everything. Trevor finally came home that night, smelling like whiskey and bad decisions. He tried to act like nothing had happened, casually dropping onto the couch and flipping on the TV. "We gonna talk about this?" I asked, standing in the doorway with my arms crossed. "Talk about what?" he said, not even looking at me. I said what I needed to say. "Oh, you said plenty," I shot back, my voice sharp enough to cut glass. "But maybe it's time for me to say something." Trevor turned to look at me, finally sensing that the balance of power had shifted. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," I said, pulling out my phone, "that I know about your little friend." I turned the screen toward him, showing the photo of him and Miss Blonde cocktails, his face drained of color. That's not what it looks like." "Oh, please, don't pull the same garbage line you tried on me yesterday." "Who is she, Trevor?" "It's just a coworker," he stammered. "It's harmless." "Harmless? Like those texts you sent to Carol?" I snapped, tossing a printout of his messages onto the coffee table. Trevor's jaw dropped. You went through my phone?" "No, your stepmother did," I said, smirking. "Looks like she's not as loyal as you thought." The room went dead silent. Trevor looked like he wanted the couch to swallow him whole. For the first time in 6 years, I saw real fear in his eyes. And I wasn't done yet. The next morning, Trevor tried to play damage control, insisting we could work this out. But I wasn't interested in his half-assed apologies. Instead, I called a lawyer. Divorce papers were drawn up faster than he could say wait. When I confronted him with the papers, his response was priceless. "You're really gonna throw away 6 years over a misunderstanding?" he whined. "Trevor," I said, my voice icy, "you accused me of sleeping with your stepmother to cover up the fact that you're chasing every skirt in town. You don't get to play the victim here." The final nail in his coffin came when I sent Carol the divorce papers and suggested she might want to do the same for her own marriage. Turns out Trevor's dad had no idea about the texts either. Within a week, Trevor was kicked out of his dad's house and crashing on a friend's couch. As for me, I moved out, took my dignity with me, and left Trevor to sort through the rubble of his life. Carol and I still talk occasionally, mostly to laugh about how pathetic he is. And now, whenever someone asks why I'm divorced, I just smile and say, because I don't date boys who play with fire and get burned.